Man, what a Friday did we had. We had 14 more cards released. I'm talking like from the moment you woke up to the moment you went to bed, you might have missed something, which is crazy. It's fun. It's entertaining. It's nuts. But we did it. We got through it. And now we have 14 card breakdowns. We're going to get right on into it because there's way too much to cover and we need to get it done. Our first card is Megara pulling the strings. And this chick is awesome. I loved her character from Hercules. I love the art, the little puppeteer thing. I mean, it's just wonderful, right? Like, what's there not to love about any of this? Let's talk about her. She is a 2-cost, inkable, 2/1 with 1 lore and the ability of Wonder Boy. What does Wonder Boy do? When you play this character, chosen character gets +2 strength this turn. That's pretty sweet. Can't really complain. Let's break her down. The strengths of Megara. Cheap and inkable, Wonder Boy has the potential to make good impact in the mid-game for off-curve terms. The weakness, of course, is 1 willpower leaves this very suspect to being banished outside of challenges, and with only 1 lore, she's also not threatening to the game very well. The opportunity, of course, is allowing for cheaper, costly characters to trade up unexpectedly while leaving you with the character still in play. Threats, Tinkerbell, and Hans, among other removal. While I think this card is really fun, and it definitely might have a place, currently we are at a lot of different choices for, the entirety of Emerald. And they're not all home runs, but they're all situational enough that they're probably all in some way or fashion going to see play, which I think is really cool and interesting of how many different things that you're actually going to find inside of Ember decks or Emerald decks. And this card is no slouch. The ability to kind of play this on turn 3 even on turn 3 or turn 4 or turn 5 and then follow it up with something else. You're able to make your 2-cost, 1-cost, or 3-cost swing a little up the curve, get a more valuable trade, and then still have Megara behind as at least a 1 lore threat or a 2-power threat to try and set up some other trade later on. All in all, not a whole lot to talk about the character. I think she's situational. I think she will see some play. I don't think she's like an every deck, she's not an every card deck. So let's move on to the next one because we got lots. We have so many that we have to get through that we got to get through it. Elsa the Queen Regent is a 4-cost inkable character, 4 strength, 4 willpower, 1 lore, and she is blank with the wonderful flavor text of I never knew what I was capable of. The strength of Elsa is she's inkable. She has her strength and willpower are above average for most cards at the 4 cost. Her weaknesses, she's only 1 lore for the 4 cost. So, and if she is a generic, she's only vanilla. She's not got anything else going on. So it is some things that you got to be weary of. Of course, the opportunity is up because she's a shiftable target for our big new winner of our big new Spirit of Winter Elsa, which we'll be talking about later on in this video. Don't worry, she's coming. She's coming. And of course, this Elsa kills every Hans. All of the 4-cost Hans, they all die to her. So what about the flavor there, guys? I mean, seriously, how much flavor is it that this Elsa has the ability to kill any Hans? I love it. It's phenomenal. Of course, the threats are Zeus and, in general, lack of impact on the most of the game. Again, she's a 4-cost inkable. She only has 1 lore. If you're not shifting into her, she's pretty minuscule, but she will probably get you some favorable trades, and that's great. At the very least, when a Zeus runs into her, it just dies, so you kind of win that war at least. But we'll have to see what else happens. Next card, of course, is none other than Kuzco, the Temperamental Emperor. Let's break them down. So Kuzco's is a 5-cost, uninkable Emerald card, 2 willpower, 4 strength, and 3 lore. He has the keyword of Ward, which of course means opponents can't choose this character except to challenge, and the ability of No Touchy. When this character is challenged and banished, you may banish the challenging character. So for all intents and purposes, guys, this is just the larger chest side carrot, but it has power, which is great. You do have some strengths. So you can utilize that and leverage that when you have to. But it also has 3 lore and has ward. So having the ward is going to cause your opponents to find some other ways to get rid of this character. So let's walk through them. The strength, of course, is having ward plus no touchy, plus 3 lore. All 3 of those things in one card has the potential to really take over a game if specifically when you're ahead. When you're behind, his 2/4 body might not be good enough, and we'll have to see. The weakness, it's uninkable. It costs 5 and has below average stats for a 5 cost. The opportunity, of course, is similar to Maleficent the Unthinkable. This character needs to be answered, or it can simply take over the game. And this cannot be removed by single target removal. So at that point, you can only get rid of it through challenging or through AoE effects, such as Be Prepared, among other things. The threats, of course, are Zeus, Beast. May not be great when you're too far behind in board state. Yeah, like this isn't the kind of card that you're gonna play and then like come back in the game with if you don't have any other ways to interact with the board. But what I do like about the character is that you can kind of line up your curve in Emerald really, really well. And by doing that, you can have a threatening 3, you can have a threatening 4. Honestly, you can even have it start at 2. You can have a threatening 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And then on top of that, by the time they get to 5, this card has Ward. And then after that, you have other cards that are really great. I can, compounding the game as well as, really being able to take you from mid to late, all while controlling the board in a big way. So I have a lot to love about this. And I also have a lot to hate because it is a 5 cost. It is uninkable. It might be less impactful from other things that are going on in the game. It's not great at all when you're behind. So honestly, this card might be a straight up 50-50 card. There's games where this card is going to be absolutely remarkable. And then there's probably also games where it's going to be terrible. So we'll just have to see how it goes. Let's get into the next one. Genie, the Ever Impressive, is a 2 cost inkable character, 2 strength, 3 willpower, and 1 lore. He's also vanilla. Nothing else going on here. His strengths are that he's cheap and inkable. He is a 2/3 stat line, trades well with most 1 and 2 along the way, along with some 3 actually as well. So this guy can trade up to certain characters, and they also can stick around against other characters and like at least be still in play. It's great. The weakness is generic, do nothing, no impact on the game. All of the other 2 costs in Emerald have some type of text on them that is like relevant to most board states and forces you to do things or allows you to be proactive and things like that. So this card being generic makes me feel that his playability is going to be pretty limited all in all. The weakness, of course, or the opportunity, of course, is that he out challenges your opponent early for pushing more mid of the game. So because of his 3 willpower, he has the ability to stick around, live through different attacks and different challenges, and just promote your board game that you're trying to get to on turn 3 and 4 and 5 a little bit deeper if you're willing to sacrifice abilities on cards for sheer willpower to kind of outwit your opponent in challenges aggressively rather than defensively. So we'll have to see really if this card ends up being helpful there. Of course, the threats, Rafiki, Smash, and do your best not to set yourself up for some wombo combo with Tinkerbell. None of those things are great. Honestly, all in all, I don't have much more to say about this card. Generic 2/3. It'll have its moment when it's necessary for 3 willpower characters on 2. Aside from that, I think it's mostly mediocre and will likely be the least played 2 cost in the Emerald Ink. So maybe I'm wrong. I don't think I am. Maybe there's a shiftable Genie. That would definitely put this up. That's a bit of an opportunity cost also. We don't have that yet, so hey, anything is possible. Get into the next one. Abu, the Mischievous Monkey. I love this guy. I love Abu. He's one of my favorite characters in Disney. He's so much fun, so funny, always made me laugh as a kid. I'm definitely excited to see him in Disney Lorcana, but I also understand that, like, hey, maybe that's not enough, and this card's not very good. But hey, let's break him down anyway, right? Abu, the Mischievous Monkey, is a 3 cost inkable character with 3 strength, 2 willpower, and 2 lore, and he's yet but another vanilla character. However, the flavor text on this one is pretty great. Someday, Abu, things are going to change. We'll be rich, live in a palace, and never have any problems at all. Of course, that was said by none other than Aladdin. like this Storyborn ally, of course. Let's just quickly go over this guy again because he's a little, like, listen, some of these cards don't do much, so we're gonna get through them. We're gonna get through them. Here we go. Strength 2 lore on a 3 cost, which is great. It is inkable. That's great. Weakness 2 willpower for 3 on a non-evasive character and it has no ability. Opportunity Scar. I mean, like, literally, guys, like Scar, like, maybe, probably not. Let's be real, probably not. And then the threats are so many things kill this guy. I don't really have anything else to add. He's not very good. I don't think he'll see much play, and we're gonna move on to the next one. Simple enough. All right, so Scar, Shameless Firebrand. I will shout this one out. Floodborn art is phenomenal, and this is also phenomenal. So yeah, let's get into them. Scar, Shameless Firebrand is an 8-cost uninkable character, 6 strength, 6 willpower, 1 lore. That's right, 8 cost, 1 lore. He has the ability of Shift 6 and Rousing Speech, which is when you play this character, ready your characters with 3 costs or less. They can't quest for the rest of the turn. So, like, that's cool and all, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. This one's rough, guys. I'm being honest. This one's rough. Scar Strength. He has Shift 6 on a 6/6, so he can be a 6/6, similar to Krunk. Keep this in mind that Krunk is 2 lore. The weakness, of course, is that he's uninkable. Krunk is inkable and can never be played cheaper than 6 by itself. For 8 cost, a 6/6 and 1 lore is incredibly below curve. Like really, really below curve. Okay. Opportunity, Rousing Speech could be efficient if we get more 3 costs that are worth untapping. And of course, the best thing that I can say that this guy can do is, ironically, is sing the card that he's on. Yeah, he can sing Be Prepared. That's probably, without a shadow of a doubt, in my humble opinion, the best thing that this card can do. We'll talk about the threats. The threats, there is a very good chance this guy is only ever an 8-cost, 1 lore character. That's vanilla, and that's about as bad as you can get. I mean, honestly, guys, I can't think of a worse way to spend 8 resources in the game right now than this character. I think this character is awful. I think it has nothing going for it, and unless we get an incredible amount of characters that are still in play, didn't die to anything else, and like you can get a secondary use out of them from not questing, maybe this guy ends up seeing play. But right now, I don't see it. I think he's bad. I don't understand I don't understand anything at all he's trying to do, except for being a really sweet Floodborn art that occasionally can literally exert just to sing Be Prepared. That's it. Card's bad. Moving on. John Silver, Alien Pirate, is a 6-cost inkable character that is a 5 strength, 5 willpower, and 2 lore with the ability of Pick Your Fights. When you play this character and whenever he quests, chosen opposing character gains Reckless during their next turn. They can't quest and must challenge if able. I want to add that he has 5 classifications, which is probably, without a doubt, the most by any character, and they are Storyborn, Villain, Alien, Pirate, and Captain. So I said on the stream the other day that I was hanging out on the round table for hobbies and games that this guy is Captain classifications to me. And yeah, let's just hope that they end up doing something, because he'll be a great battery for it. That'd be awesome. So let's break him down. John Silver's strengths are he's inkable with an enter the battlefield and when he challenges ability and Pick Your Fights, 2 lore, and 5 classifications. The weakness, stats are under curve and forces a character to potentially attack into him. The opportunity here, is this card is a high skill cap character. Pairs very well with additional removal and Genie S effects. The threats, bigger endgame characters that don't mind challenging into him. In all honesty, I really like John Silver. I think when you start going over the entire theme of Emerald, he is the perfect embodiment of it. And he's right where you want to be to like double down on certain effects, like him paired with Mickey and him being like a backup, interesting card to protect other things or force really bad challenges from opponents. Like, I like a lot of the things that John Silver is doing. I think he's very unique. I think he's very cool. And at the end of the day, he's still threatening two-lore character. I think he's great that you can, really utilize certain characters probably from other inks that you can lure with them on turn 5 or on your turn 6, you lure with them, and then you play John Silver and force whatever the character they have to run into that, which is probably never a good trade. We really haven't seen the entire extent, of how good Reckless may or may not be, but this card really quickly will give us those answers before we know it, because you're going to be giving everything Reckless every other turn or every turn, depending on how many times you end up wanting to challenge with him, if you have any other ways to protect him or additional ways to protect him. A lot of layers go into this guy. He's definitely as I said, a high skill cap character to have to play. But when played correctly, this guy might truly dominate a board state and a game. I'm really looking forward to sleeving this one up and playing him. Let's get to the next one. Captain Hook, Thinking a Happy Thought, is a 5-cost, uninkable character with 2 strength, 5 willpower, 1 lore, and the abilities of Shift 3, Challenger 3, and Stolen Dust. Stolen Dust reads, characters with cost 3 or less can't challenge this character. He is, of course, another wonderful Floodborn art villain with pirate and captain as well. Seriously, guys, I can't say it enough. The Floodborn arts in this game are phenomenal, and this guy is great. I love what it's embodying. I cannot wait to get the story behind Floodborns. I'm so excited for it. Let's break them down. Captain Hook's strengths are Shift Potential, 5 strength, 5 willpower for 3 costs. And Stolen Dust means that they have to find another way to finish this off. The weakness, of course, is an uninkable. It's uninkable, has 1 lore. It mostly needs to shift or just a far worse character than many others. The opportunity, this is a 5/5 with Rush that will banish anything on curve without evasive when you're able to shift on 3. And on top of that, it presents enough ways to also banish the next thing that it attacks. And because it can't just be ran into immediately afterwards, then you can actually just leave him untapped, leave him untapped. And then all of a sudden you're just like, all right, well, I just have a 5/5 when I need it again. And you don't really feel like you're missing out too much because his 1 lore is not that much incentive to use him that way. The threats, of course, is he is uninkable again. It makes you have to choose likely between Fire the Cannons and then Hook the Jolly Roger. Simply not enough room for both of these sets of character cards. And what I really like about this is that this is just another layer to the game of Disney Lorcana, is that now even if you're a Captain Hook fan and you're just like this crazy Captain Hook fanboy, you have 2 different ways that you can really utilize the things that Captain Hook wants to do inside Disney Lorcana. You're like, no, I want to be the Fire the Cannons Captain Hook. Like, no, I want to be the awesome Challenger Captain Hooks. So I get to play the 1 cost and the 5 cost, and I can all the cool things that they're doing. Just at a casual level alone is really fun and exciting, but it's also great for deck builders. There are 100% going to be meta games where the choice between these could definitely matter. So it's like, man, is it important for me to have a 1-cost character and the ability to shift into a 5/5? Or is it important for me to have a 1-cost removal and the ability to recur it later on? Lots of options, lots of choices. It's all pretty exciting as from where I'm standing. So I'm excited for this guy. I think he's interesting. I do think right now, my bang for my buck, I do believe Captain Hook, Jolly Roger, and Fire the Cannons is a better combination. but I have no doubt in my mind that there will be a time at some point in the game where Captain Hook for 1 and Captain Hook Floodborn for 3 to shift into will be a dominant play in the game. I can't not see that being a possibility. Let's get into the next card, guys. Jasper, the Common Crook, is a 3-cost inkable character with 2 strength, 4 willpower, and 1 lore with the ability of puppy napping. Whenever this character quests, chosen opposing character can't quest during their next turn. Okay, so this guy is kind of, in a weird way, a mini John Silver. Doesn't give Reckless, but says they can't quest, which could effectively make things really useless. This guy is really fun into cards like Hans, Scheming Villain, or like Maleficent Unthinkable. You know, like any of these like cheap get this guy into play so I can lure early cards. Like this guy like just completely craps on them, which I kind of love. And the best part about it is both of those characters can't even run into this guy to banish him, which is also really fun. Nonetheless, let's get into it. Let's break them down. Jasper, the Common Crook strengths. His average stats for his cost: inkable, puppy napping, can be powerful even in the late game. That's another big thing. The weakness, of course, is 1 lore. While his 4 willpower keeps him alive, his 2 strength prevents him from banishing like the most important things on the curve. The opportunity with 4 willpower, you may be able to get 2 uses out of this card early, or at the very least, gain more card advantage from opponents overcommitting to get rid of them. The threats: Zeus, a shiftable Tinkerbell, and ironically, his good boy Horace, which I do find kind of fitting because Horace is just the muscle and he just gets to smack this guy around. But hey, that's all fun and games, right? Jasper, fun card. I know everyone's a little upset that there's not like a direct connection to Horace, similar to like Jetsam and Flotsam. Is what it is. I think it's okay. I think this guy will definitely see some play. Again, this whole like Emerald being this ink that says you can't do what you want to do because I'm just going to say no over and over and over again is getting pretty mean, guys. There's a lot of these cards that do stuff like this, and it's pretty mean. So let's get to the next card. Hey guys, if you're enjoying the content, do me a favor, hit me the like button for me right now on the video and comment. Let me know what your favorite card revealed of these 14 cards are. I know we're only about halfway through, got more to go, but if any of these cards end up being your favorite card, let me know why in the comments and let me know what you're looking forward to seeing left in the last 53 cards of the set. That's all we have left. Let me know what you're hoping we get. Thanks for watching. Let's continue. Let's break down Horace. Horace, the No Good Scoundrel, is a 3-cost inkable character, 4 strength, 3 willpower, and 1 lore. His strength, of course, he has above average stats on an inkable 3-cost character. The weakness, he's vanilla, he's got 1 lore. The opportunity here, this trades with almost everything on curve. It also removes any of the 4 willpower cost cards in general or prevents them from free questing. And it's also again, he's also great against several shift targets. The threats: smash. If you can't find a good use early, an early shifting Tinkerbell may remove this card without it ever doing anything. So while I actually think I like Horace probably more than most people, but I look at Horace as kind of he stands out in the Emerald color to me. A lot of the Emerald characters are low strength, high willpower, wonky effect that affects the game. And Horace is just like, nope, I'm brute force. I'm coming into play, and I'm going to banish pretty much everything that I can't even think of. Like anything that's been played early, I'm going to get rid of you. Anything that gets played on turn 4, I can get rid of you. You can even get rid of some 5-drops, in all honesty. So this card definitely has a place, I think. And because it's inkable, and the incredible amount of uninkables that are already in Emerald, he might honestly find his way into decks just for those things alone, because they don't have a lot of 1-for-1 card advantage. So if you can get a 1-for-1 trade out of this card guaranteed, or at least force them to run into him, It's fine. Like 4 strength is very hard to come by at a 3-cost character that's also inkable. I'm just saying we might be overlooking this guy just a little bit. Let's break the next one down. Okay, so our next one is personally, and I know I keep saying, I know I've said this a bunch, guys, but seriously, have you seen this art? I mean, just, and I know like we've seen it on the sleeves or the binder or whatever it was, and like, you know, in their model kit for things they're selling. I think maybe it's a deck box. It is gorgeous, and I mean gorgeous art, and I am so excited for this character. Let's bring, oh my god, let's break her down. Elsa, the Spirit of Winter, is an 8-cost inkable character. Sorry, she's an 8-cost uninkable character with 4 strength, 6 willpower, 3 lore, shift 6, and the ability of Deep Freeze. When you play this character, exert up to 2 chosen characters. They can't ready at the start of their next turn. And because we have to go through the whole card, her flavor text is ice is stronger than you may think. I mean, guys, like when this card dropped on Friday during the Q&A, I got so excited because we knew it was coming. We knew it was in the set. We were just waiting for it to be revealed. And I do not think that Elsa, Spirit of Winter, is a letdown. She may be the best legendary. Maybe. There's some really good ones. I think people are really, really overlooking some of the legendaries. Don't get me wrong. Like, BLT Mickey is good. Maleficent is good. Rapunzel is maybe one of the most overlooked cards in the set. But, like, Elsa is really solid. And not to mention, because of a collector value reason, the foil version of this card, I'm telling you guys right now, I can guarantee you it's probably going to be over $200. So, like, if you're the kind of person like, man, I really want to get foil this card, just understand right now that it's likely a couple $100 bills. Let's break her down. Elsa, Spirit of Winter, strength. Shiftable with incredible ability and 3 lore. The weakness, she's uninkable. Her strength and willpower are low for her cost. However, the opportunity is your challenge stats don't really matter when your opponent can't untap for several turns. When you shift into this character, what it will mean is that she will almost always be guaranteed 6 lore, and the threats, single target removal, characters with ward are obviously very good against her. Yeah, like she has to stay on the screen because I gotta keep looking at her. But seriously, this is the ultimate endgame control card. Like the ultimate. Like she's so good. She's so powerful. The ability to just flat out come in and shift, lock down 2 things out of the game. Oh, and by the way, the rules, just so we're clear, if you were to target something that was already exerted, right, they still don't untap. It doesn't have to exert the character for the second ability to activate. So she can choose characters that are already exerted. So don't worry about those things. This card does so much. The opportunity for a 6 lore shiftable character on 6 that locks out 2 of your opponent's things from the game is 100% a game-changing play. And it's going to warrant an incredible amount of like ways to come back. This character is going to have to be answered with single target removal, or your opponent is going to be forced into AOing the board like Be Prepared or something like that. Because if they don't, this card might flat run around, run away with the game, which is really, really phenomenal. And there's so much synergy outside of it. I'm like, Anna's not a particularly phenomenal card, but when you look at the ability of tapping a character down tapping 2 different cards down for a turn and then following up with another Anna to maybe tapping them down again, it could just take out some of the best cards in the game for literally like 3 or 4 turns when it all adds up, which is insanity. So love Elsa. Without a doubt, my favorite card revealed from today. This card's phenomenal, but we got more. Let's get into it. Elsa, the Ice Surfer. This one's cool. Really unexpected, but hey, let's break her down. Elsa the Ice Surfer is a 4-cost, 3/4, 1 lore, Ruby Elsa with the ability of That's No Blizzard. Whenever you play a character named Anna, ready this character can't quest for the rest of this turn. I love the flavor and the synergy and the evergreen effect of this. I just really am bummed that she can't quest again. Like, with her only having 1 lore, I don't think it would have been the end of the world if you could have just, found a way to wombo combo this and play like several Elsas in a turn. I look at it the same way I would look at Ariel Wholeset Collector, and she doesn't have that text on her. And there's probably going to be way less Annas in the evergreen of this game than items. So I don't really understand why we got this can't quest. Really a bummer, honestly. If it didn't have that text, this card would be obviously way better. But because it does, it just kind of bums me out more than anything. I'm just being honest. I just wanted a bunch of good Elsas, guys. I'm a Frozen nerd. If you've never been here before, never watched any of my videos, the name of the podcast is Into the Unknown for a reason. Check it out. 5 episodes so far. A lot of fun. More live coming this week, Tuesday night. But seriously, hit that subscribe button if you want to watch. We will be there Tuesday night, 8:30-ish. I promise. But seriously, I just want good Elsas. That's all it is, guys. That's all it is. I just want good Elsas. Let's break her down. Elsa the Ice Surfer strengths. She's inkable. She's a potential shift target. That's No Blizzard could create a nice swing turn early. The 3 strength does have the ability for payoff of, removing 2 characters from the board on a turn or questing for 1 and then running into a character and things like that. So there is some potential there. The weakness, of course, is 3 strength on curve is low for a 4-cost character. And of course, 1 lore is always just a bummer. She does need Anna for the ability to be relevant. So that's a big bummer too. The opportunity, a 4 willpower character that you can protect to make the big shift turn early to take over a game. The threats, of course, a single target removal, Zeus, and Horace, as I just mentioned earlier. So again, gotta leave Elsa on the screen. The card has a lot of interesting upside with just like really weird fringe payoffs. I love the ability that you can untap her after you request or after you were to challenge. So this does give her the ability to be a little bit more protective, to have another nice way to shift into her, like on turns 6. So I look at this, you play this on turn 5, you quest with it, you play an Anna. Let's hope we get another Anna, let's be honest. But then you play your Anna, you untap it. So now on 6, you're not worried about this card being removed by any of the things I mentioned earlier, by Zeus, by Horace. They have to basically go, okay, well, like I have to single target remove this, or it's going to shift and take over the game. Of course, the other thing is they can just let you shift, take over the game, gain 3 lore, and then removal that. But when they do that, at least you're gaining 3 lore out of the deal, and you still get to tap stuff down for a couple turns. So it's going to be a nice little cat and mouse game. The shift characters in general, like the Tinkerbell, is always just threatening giant fairy, which I love. And Stitch is kind of the same thing. Stitch is always threatening Rockstar Stitch. There's a real nice cat and mouse to the game when you talk about these shifting characters. And I really like that. I really enjoy that. And this is another one that, because it has the ability of That's No Blizzard and it can untap, it's only adding to the cat and mouse game of what the shift character can do. And if you're going to be able to get Elsa into play faster and be able to start swinging for those 3 lore and tapping stuff down. All in all, I actually like this card. I think it's definitely playable. I think it's a reasonable card to play in Ruby Amethyst builds. I don't know if we're playing it unless we're playing Amethyst, though. So I do think it's a fringe playable card in the Elsa shiftable control deck. I don't know if you're playing this card in like any other deck that doesn't have Elsa, and you're definitely not playing it in any other deck that doesn't have Anna. So it's a bit of a niche, but its niche does have an upside, and I do like it a bunch. Let's get to the next one. Tinkerbell, Peter Pan's ally, is a 5-cost, uninkable character with 3 strength, 3 willpower, 2 lore, and the abilities of evasive, along with loyal and devoted. And that what Loyal and Devoted does is your characters named Peter Pan gain Challenger 1. So I really like this, in all honesty. I like the evergreen fashion of the card again. The overall card is, we're going to break her down in a moment here, but I love how we keep seeing this evergreen content in set 1. We never, ever will know how many Peter Pans we're going to get, how many Elsa and Annas we're going to get, like, how many shiftable characters we're going to, all these crazy things that are very possible right now is that you just never know. So whenever you see an anthem effect like this, like Jetsam and Flotsam, then you get to see a potential of, man, this might get better later on, which is cool because it means I have a reason to like look at my old cards and see if there's new synergies and new strategies. So that's what I really like about this Tinkerbell. But aside from that, let's break her down. Tinkerbell, Peter Pan's ally, strengths, it's evasive with 2 lore, so that's nothing to slouch about. Its weakness, of course, is it's a 5 cost, uninkable with very, very low stats. The opportunity is the evergreen Peter Pan synergy. The threats, Smash, Flotsam, with the Jetsam, Goofy, Tigger, and even, ironically, guys, even Peter Pan kills this Tinkerbell. Just saying, guys, it could happen. It's going to happen. I think it's cool that she's an evergreen character and we'll always gonna have a reason to look at her. But 5 costs for an uninkable 3/3. There's a lot of really good uninkable cards in Amethyst and in Amber and in Ruby and like all these things that I would really can see us being paired right now, or even Emerald, like all of the things that I would want to pair my Amethyst stuff also has really good uninkables, and I find it really hard to believe that I'm going to make room for this character. Specifically with like most of the things I just mentioned, her Peter Pan ability won't even matter. Like I don't care about that ability at all right now. I think it's mostly irrelevant unless we get another Peter Pan that like really wants it or something. I don't know, but right now in chapter 1 alone, we're very unimpressed. Don't think the card is very good, and I don't think it's going to see any play. Let's get it. One more card. All right. So the last card of the video, right? This is it. This is all big. This is what we're talking about here. But before we get there, let me talk about how cool this was. All right. If you guys didn't see it, if you don't know about it, if you didn't hear about it, this card was spoiled live on stream on Friday night. We were on stream together. We were doing a roundtable on Hobbies and Games channel. It was literally, well, it was at the point at the end of the stream, there was only 8 of us on the stream to do it, but it was so much fun. Rochelle was hanging out in chat all night. She was so kind, and she gave Dan, the host of the roundtable, this in his DMs, and we were able to all release and spoil this card for the community together, a team of content creators. It was so much fun. It was so cool to be a part of that experience, and I was so happy to be there and enjoy that with everyone. And it was a great time. It was a lot of fun. He does them on Friday nights at 9:30 or 8:30 CST. There won't be any for the next couple weeks because of Gen Con. He's on vacation, but like be on the lookout for these because as we just showed, anything can happen. Anyone can show up. I literally tweeted it. I'll probably put it up on screen. I tweeted like, hey, come hang out on the stream. You never know who's going to show up. I had no idea going into that night that we were going to get to spoil a card, but it was awesome. It was so much fun. Let's break down Jafar. Jafar, Keeper of Secrets, is a 4-cost inkable character, 0 strength, 5 willpower, and 2 lore with the ability Hidden Wonders. This character gets +1 attack or +1 strength for each card in your hand. And guys, I know you can look at this card and be like, oh my God, it has 0 willpower. Oh my God, I never have cards in my hand. How am I ever going to get away with this? This is crazy. Well, let me tell you a little story. There's a card called Maleficent, replaces herself. And then normally after you replace her, you play Friends with Benefits, and that's a +2. And then you play this guy, and if all goes well, I'm being honest, he's probably a 5/5 on turn 4. Maybe more. So the Jafar, Keeper of Secrets, strengths, inkable, 5 willpower, is well above curve, and its strength has a lot of potential for great trades. The weakness, late in the game, could have 0 attack if you're not going as planned. Opportunity, Rapunzel, Friends, Necklace. The list of card advantage is long and many to get to the most out of the ability of Hidden Wonders. The threats, single target removal. If discard ends up being a thing, this will get much, much worse. The Hidden Wonders is really great card. It's a really great ability. It's really fun. It has a lot of synergy with so many good cards. My personal favorite is this plus Rapunzel. Rapunzel is ridiculous to begin with. I don't think anyone's talking about her enough. But the idea that you're just like, oh yeah, this Jafar is probably like a 5 or a 6 cost character, and that's cool. That's whatever. Who really, his strength is whatever. It's fine. It's not a big deal. Well, what's a big deal is that like when he is a gigantic character and he has a gigantic strength, and he goes challenge that guy, kill him, banish him, and then I'll take 3 back, and then you're like, I play Rapunzel, and then I heal him for 3. Oh. And I draw 3 cards, so his strength is actually higher now. So the next thing that runs into it is 100% dying. And he still has 5 willpower. This card is awesome. It is so good. And no, we don't even need to talk about weird combos with like a whole new world. Like, yeah, you can do that. I don't care about that. Like, we're not even thinking about playing this with Steel. We're thinking about this with Amethyst. And all, with Amber and all the cool shenanigans that you can get away with Amber and this guy. But man, seriously, I'm going to put it up full screen one more time. The art on this card is incredible. It is one of my favorite dream boards for sure. I love everything about it. I think it was so very cool to get to reveal this as a team with everybody on that stream. It was so cool. It was so much fun. Anybody that was there had a blast. We were all super excited. All in all, this was a lot of fun. We broke down 14 cards in this video. If you haven't, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let me know in the comments which of these 14 cards was your favorite. And I'm telling you, if this wasn't enough for you, I did 14 more cards in this video. It's been a crazy week. It's going to be even more crazier. Be on the lookout for everything. And I got some secrets, guys. I put out a tweet early yesterday asking about the content creators' favorite, that's right, content creators' favorite inks in the game. What am I going to do with that? You're going to have to stay and find out. If you want to watch, if you want to know, hit that subscribe button. I will catch you guys in the next video. See ya.